Welcome, ladies and gents. We're back from spring break with the only CalTV show that would give Ben Braun a spot as an analyst. I'm Dan Fiedler.
And I'm Daphne Pepinitas.
Today we're going back
and forth. First up, men's basketball. After advancing to the second round of the NIT, the Cal men fell to top-seeded Ohio State in a 73-56 blowout. Following their disappointing season, head coach Ben Braun was fired after 12 seasons with the team. So, Danny, even though I think I know where you're going to go with this, did Braun deserve to be let go, and who is the best replacement for him?
Oh, you better believe that I agree with this, Daphne. Ben Braun has always been sort of the champion of the good loss, you know, always sort of the little league mentality, you know, we played hard, you know, we gave our best, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. Right. I'm sorry, but the Pac-10 is a cutthroat conference, and you play to win the game, like Herm Edwards used to say. So I think that the Bears definitely need somebody who can sort of strike fear into the players a little bit and be more of a leader than just sort of a friend.
Right, so now, okay, who do we have on the short list, right? It is a very short list.
There's Randy Bennett,
right,
St. Mary's coach.
I mean, he hasn't really been tested, you know? I mean, I don't know about that. At the same time, I think Mike Montgomery is a name that a lot of people like. Right. Bay Area man, as you always like to say. I think that he's definitely, you know, he's been tested. In 26 seasons as a college head coach, 25 of those were winning seasons. 10 straight NCAA tournaments. 10 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Think about that too.
Right,
okay?
Yeah, but 25...
Something that Ben Braun is having a lot of trouble doing.
Yeah, all of those seasons, though, were at the third. How do you think the Bears are going to respond?
No, not all of them. Some of them were at Montana. 8 of them were at Montana.
Son of a bitch. We turn now to the women's game, and the Cal Golden Bears were upset in the second round of the NCAA tournament, losing to the number 6 ranked George Washington Colonials. A buzzer beater gave George Washington a 55-53 win. So, even though they did have a record-setting season, Daphne, how disappointing do you think this loss is in the grand scheme of things?
Here's the thing, Dan. Even talking about the grand scheme of things, this is still very disappointing. And I know it was heartbreaking. I know I'm sitting there watching it. I mean, it was really just stunning, shocking. I mean, you really just didn't expect, you know, they were up by 6, I think, with about a minute to go. Right. Still, you know, let George Washington get back in the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, that shot was just so unlikely to go anyways. I mean, it's terrible that they weren't defending it properly.
Right. But, I mean, they had so many chances to win that game. And, by the way, I think there was somebody on this show that was yelling upset about the Cal women's team. It might have been a dashing man with a 50s-style haircut. But we're talking about a team that has been
You agreed with me that they were going to lose to Rutgers, okay?
Okay, well, I said upset.
We thought they were getting a Sweet 16. You said that 3 weeks ago.
Regardless, I think that this is just a team that was not able to step up. That's what we've been talking about all season. When the game was on the line, they had tons of opportunities to win that game. You know, the travel towards the end. I just don't think that...
The travel call was that was kind of weird, though. You know, if you're calling for a timeout, it has to be very egregious of a travel to actually call that. I'm not so sure I agree with that.
Okay, well,
but I understand where you're going. It shouldn't have been that tight to begin with.
This is a 3 seed playing a 6 seed. They were supposed to win this game, okay?
Right.
George Washington was not supposed to have a chance to, you know, put in a shot from the corner at the end, but they did.
Now to the NCAA tournament. The Final Four have been set, and for the first time in tournament history, all 4 number seeds are advancing to the national semifinals. So Dan, it's that time now. Among the 4, UCLA, Kansas, Memphis, and North Carolina, who you got going to the championship game, and who you got cutting down the nets.
Okay, let's talk about Memphis and UCLA first. I think that Memphis is an incredibly athletic team, but we've seen time and time again that people should be able to guard Kevin Love, and they just can't. And I sort of see the same thing happening again. I just think that
people should be able to shoot free throws, but then they can't.
Well, I mean, you can't take anything away from Memphis here. They've been shooting very well in the NCAA tournament. I just don't think that they have an answer for Kevin Love whatsoever. And even if they did, there's just too many weapons on the UCLA team for them to get by.
Here's the thing about UCLA, though. They keep scraping by every one of these games. Okay, they scraped by the end of the season,
Xavier,
and now they scraped by Texas A&M. Okay, there are these few games where you're seeing these very questionable calls at the end. At some point, it's going to catch up to them. You know why? Because it's karma. Okay, they're going to lose. Memphis is going to the championship
this just
game.
Did Memphis winning on karma. Okay.
Okay, Memphis is and they're very good. Okay, they're on a roll. As is North Carolina. Okay,
what do you have to say about that?
I gotta say, Kansas. I just don't see them as. I don't see them strong enough. I mean, they had a tough time with Davidson. Davidson is a good team. I'm not saying they're not a good team. They made it to the Elite 8, even though they were the 10 seed. I think they're just spent. I think that game took so much energy out of them. I mean, because it like was screaming upset. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody was like, "Oh my!" I mean, it had this. It was this. They were playing. They were playing to not lose. They weren't playing to win.
And Hansbrough is just playing so well right now. So I think we both agree that North Carolina is going to take that one. Now, I just think that Hansbrough is playing too well, and there are too many weapons. You know, we said about UCLA, but take a look at North Carolina. You got Wayne Ellington and just Green. It's just like there's too many people on there. I think that the best 4 players on North Carolina are better than the best 4 players on UCLA. Ty Lawson as well. Even if they played Memphis, I just don't think anybody's messing with the Tar Heels.
So you got UNC?
Definitely.
Me too.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. For Dan Fiedler, that's me. This is Daphne Pepinides. We'll see you next week.